Good morning, dear students. Today we will discuss about solutions and what is solution here is. And in this topic here, we are discussing about what is solution and the types of solutions, and also expressing concentration of solution. And before going to discuss about solutions here, in a normal life, we are rarely come across pure substances. We are mainly most of the substances in our daily life we are using mixtures, and mixtures of different properties. Mixtures have different properties. It is whether they are metals or non-metals or other substances like this. It is, for example, here coffee, tea, and this is a Horlicks here. Like that here, there are so many. There is food materials are this, and daily uses we are using so many mixtures. It is, and a mixture is a combination of two or more components. A mixture is a composition of two or more components. Okay, components may be solids, or it is liquids, or it is gases. It is, and different there is here based on their utility and importance, we have different types of mixtures we are using here. For example, we are considering this is brass. You know about brass here, brass, and brass is a mixture of copper. Brass is a mixture of copper, and this is zinc. Copper and zinc, it has different properties when compared to German silver. And German silver it is, and German silver is a mixture of it is copper here, and also it is zinc here, and one more element is called as copper, zinc, and nickel. This is nickel. And German silver is a composition of copper, zinc, and this is nickel. Is similarly here we have it is bronze. Bronze is a mixture of copper and tin. This is copper and tin. Here tin is Sn. This is copper. Here Cu, and copper and tin. Here this is copper, zinc, and nickel. This is copper and zinc. And these mixtures have different properties. And based on their different properties, we are using there is a different purpose. We are using brass, German silver, and also this bronze. Similarly, here in case of there is if water containing 1 ppm of, if drinking water contains 1 ppm of fluoride ion concentration. Ppm means parts per million. One part, it is 1 part per millions of fluoride ions present in water. Here they causes here, this is there it is they prevent here tooth decay. This is okay. The 1 ppm of fluoride ions in drinking water here prevents tooth decay. If the concentration of fluoride ions is more than 1.5 ppm, here, then it causes here is mottled. It causes mottled. Mottled means it is brown spots on teeth. It is. This is called as the fluoride concentration more than 1.5 ppm causes mottled here, and damages the teeth here. And 1 ppm of fluoride ion concentration less than 1 ppm here, it causes tooth decay. It is okay. This is about the importance of this mixture. This is a mixture of water containing 1 ppm of fluoride ions. It is mixture. It is not pure substance. Like that here, and also here in case of for giving intravenous injections, and intravenous injections are dissolved in water of suitable concentration. That concentration should match with the concentration of blood plasma. It is. Then like this here we are using different purposes. We are using different types of mixtures. It is okay. And in these solutions, mainly here in the solution chapter, we are mainly discussing about that is solids are dissolved in liquids, and also the gases in liquids. And what is a solution? It is a solution. What is solution? A solution is a homogeneous mixture of. A solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more. A solution is a homogeneous mixture of 2 or more components. two or more components. Okay. And what is meant by this homogeneous here? We are using the term homogeneous. Homogeneous means here the composition of the components are uniform. The components are uniform is composition, and also here the properties and compositions are uniform here throughout the solution. That is the meaning of homogeneous. Homogeneous means it's a composition and properties are uniform here throughout a solution. That is the meaning of homogeneous solutions. It is. That's why here a solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more than two components. It is. That is called as a solution. It is. And for example, this is called as here you take this water. Here water is one of the solvent here. Generally here this is water. And for this water here, if we are adding sugar, when the sugar dissolved in water here, then here sugar is taken as less quantity here, and here water taken as large quantities. Here we have two components. One is water or one is sugar here, and the sugar which is present in less quantity here, and here water present in large excess quantity here, and this large quantity of water is considered as solvent. And the less quantity of component of sugar, which is called as solute. Like that, a solution is a combination of solute and solvent. When sugar is added into water, here it becomes a solution. And what is solution here? Solution is a combination of solvent and solute. That gives a solution. Here solute may be it is 1 or 2 or 3 here, or that is more number of components may be present. Then here the component which is present in excess quantity, the component which is present in a large quantity, that is called as solvent, and the component which is present in limited quantity here, that is less quantity, that is called as solute. It is for any solutions. Generally this is usually taken, that is. Then you come across this binary solutions here. In this chapter we are mainly discussing about binary solutions here. And what is binary solution? That is a binary solution. A binary solution is one, and which contains two components only. If any solution contains two components, that solution is called as a binary solution. Then here for example, here you are taking this is water. Here water is one of the component here, and for this water you are adding NaCl. When NaCl added to water, here NaCl dissolved in water, here that becomes solution here, and this solution is example for binary solution. And this solution contains only two components. Water is one component, the other one component is called as sodium chloride. Like this here, this type of solutions are called as binary solutions. Okay. Then here based on in case of this is water acts as solvent, here water acts as solvent and NaCl is called as solute. Okay. The physical state of solvent determines here the type of solutions. Based on the physical state of a solvent, here we have three types of solutions. That is, if the solvent is gas, that is called as a gaseous solution. If the solvent is liquid, that is called as a liquid solution. If the solvent is solid, those are called as solid solutions. Here we are taken a chart of this is different types of solutions. This is called as a type of solution here. Then here this is called as we are taken solute, and here solvent. Here the common examples you're using, this is common examples of particular type of solutions. This is chart. Here first we are taking this is gaseous solutions. In gaseous solutions, here we have three types of gaseous solutions. One is here solute is gas and the solvent is gas. Solute and solvent both are gases. Here these are called as gas in gas. Gas is solute and gas also solvent. This is called as gas in gas. and this is called examples are here a mixture of oxygen, and nitrogen is best example for a mixture of oxygen and nitrogen is a mixture of gas in gas. This and this air contains both oxygen and nitrogen. Here air is example, air is a mixture of oxygen and nitrogen here, like this. Then here this is next one, this is called as solvent is gas here, then solute is liquid. This is a mixture of here, this is a mixture of chloroform, vapors, a mixture of chloroform here, chloroform and nitrogen. A mixture of chloroform nitrogen is example. Mixture of chloroform and nitrogen example for liquid in gas. Here chloroform is liquid and nitrogen is gas. This is liquid in gas. Next, this is third one, that is solid particles in gas. Here solid particles which are present in gas. Here this is a solid particle, nothing but here what are the solid particles here? This is camphor. Camphor means solid particles, and camphor particles are dispersed in air, nothing but nitrogen gas. This is a mixture of camphor and nitrogen. Mixture of camphor and nitrogen is an example for it is camphor. Camphor is a solid particles which are dispersed in nitrogen atmosphere. This is called as a solid in gas. This is about here three types of gaseous solutions. After this, here you have this one more type of solution, that is called as liquid solutions. In liquid solutions here, and here solvent is liquid. Here the liquid solution, here the name itself indicates here solvent is liquid. Here this is gas dissolved in liquids. This is liquid. Gas dissolved in liquid. There are so many examples for a gas in liquid is here. For example, here dissolved oxygen in water. This is one example it is. I have one example here, that is soft drinks, cool drinks, and cool drinks contains CO2 gas dissolved in water, that is called as cool drinks. It is like that it is. Here this is CO2 gas in soft drink or the dissolved oxygen in water. Here this is example for gas in liquids. Similarly, here this is liquid in liquid and liquid. Both are liquids. Here solute is liquid and also solvent is liquid. Here liquid in liquid. Here best example is you have taken, this is ethanol. Ethanol means ethyl alcohol. Ethyl alcohol in water. A mixture of ethanol and water is called as liquid in liquid. Both are liquids. Ethanol is liquid and water also liquids. And what about here is solids? And solids dissolved in liquids. The solids here dissolved in liquids. There are so many examples we are giving here. For example, it is you are giving some examples here. Sugar dissolved in water. Best example is sugar dissolved in water. Sugar dissolved in water is an example for solid in liquid. Or sodium chloride is in water. Sugar is solid and water is liquid. Here solid in liquid. Sugar dissolved in water. Or one is sodium chloride dissolved in water. Like this you are giving example. Sucrose dissolved in water. Like this is about solids in liquids. Then whatever these are the three different types of liquid solutions: gas in liquid, liquid, and solid in liquids. Then the third category is called as solid solutions. In solid solutions here, and this is called as solvent is always solid. This is a solid here. This is, and here this is a gas. Gas in solid. The best example here, gas in solid, hydrogen gas in palladium. Hydrogen gas present in palladium. H2 gas in palladium is an example for gas in solid. Similarly, here this is liquid here in solids. Liquid in solids. In liquid in solids here, the best example we are giving for this is the amalgam of mercury. Amalgam of mercury with sodium. amalgam of mercury with sodium. This is here mercury is liquid and the solid is called sodium is solid. Here liquid in solid. Here this is amalgam of this is mercury with sodium. Example for this liquid in solids. Similarly, here the last one, this is called as solid solids. Solid solutions. Solid solutions. In the solid solutions, here both are solids. Solute is solid, solvent is solid. Here this is an example of here, that is ornamental gold. The ornamental gold. Here ornamental gold is a mixture of copper and gold. A mixture of copper and gold. A mixture of copper and gold here is called as ornamental gold. Here this is best example for the solid in solids. Here copper is solid and gold also solid. Here thus this is called as a mixture of copper and gold is example for this is solid in solids. Like that, here you have 9 types of solutions. That is, in gaseous solution you have 3 types here: gas in gas, or liquid in gas, or solid in gas. And in the liquid solutions you have 3 types here, that is gas in liquid, or liquid in liquid, or solid in liquid. And solid solutions you have 3 types here: gas in solid, and liquid in solid, or solid in solid. Like that, here you have 9 types of that is solutions it is. And the physical state of solution that is decided by the nature of the solvent it is. If the solvent is gas, here that is called a gaseous solution. If the solvent is liquid, here this is called liquid solution. If the solvent is solid, this is called solid solutions. Like that, here we have 9 types of solutions it is. Then after this, here then the next topic regarding solution is expressing concentration of solutions. Expressing concentration of solutions. Then how do you expressing concentration of solutions? Expressing concentration of solutions. Expressing concentration of solutions. Then for expressing concentration of solutions, we have different types of units we are using here. That is, one is the first one. The expressing concentration of solutions is more important here. That is, you have mass percentage, mass by mass percentage, and we have volume by volume percentage. We have mass by volume percentage, and also ppm here, mole fractions, and molarity, normality. These are different types of units here which are used for expressing concentration of solutions. Then say here let us see one by one it is for expressing the concentration of solutions. The first one here you are taking, that is called as mass percentage. First one we are using mass percentage. This is mass percentage. Mass for nothing but this is a weight by weight percentage. Here mass by mass percentage or weight by weight percentage, and this form is defined as here. It is defined as mass percentage of a component. Mass percentage of a component is equal to mass of the component in the solution. Mass of the component in the solution. Mass of the component in the solution divided by here total mass of solution. Total mass of the solution. Total mass of solution into, this is percentage multiplied by, this is 100. This is the definition of mass percentage. Mass percentage of a component in a solution is equal to mass of the component in the solution divided by total mass of the solution into 100. For example, here this is we are taking an example like this is mass percentage here. If you are dissolving this is mass by mass, nothing but if you 10 gram of glucose dissolved in 10 gram of glucose dissolved in here 90 gram of water. When 10 gram of glucose dissolved in 90 gram of water, here the water is called as 90 gram of water. Then what is the mass percentage of glucose? This is the percentage. Then how do you calculate this is mass percentage? This is, our question is 10 gram of glucose dissolved in 90 gram of water. Okay, Then calculate here mass percentage of glucose in water. This one here, this is mass percentage of a component. Mass percentage of a component equal to mass of the component in the solution. How much mass we are taking? This is 10 gram of glucose we are dissolving in 90 gram of water. Then this is solvent, this is solute. Solute plus solvent equal to solution. Then here this is denominator, we should take total mass of the solution. Here 90 gram water, 90 plus 10, how much? 90 plus 10 nothing but 100 into this is, and how much? This is multiplied by 100. Then what is the mass percent of component? The mass percent component is called as 10%. Here 10% glucose solution means what? 10% glucose solution means, here the meaning of 10% glucose solution is 10 gram of glucose dissolved in 90 gram of water. This is the meaning of 10% glucose solution. Or for example, here the question asking about what is the meaning of 5% glucose solution. 5% glucose solution. Here 5% glucose solution means 5 gram of glucose dissolved in 95 gram of water. That is called as 5% glucose solution. This is one of the that is a mass percentage definition it is. Okay. Then after this, here you have to the second one, and that is called as volume percentage. This is about mass percentage. Then the second this is volume percentage. And what is volume percentage? Volume percentage, this is a volume by volume percentage. Volume by volume is both are in liquids here, that is called as volume by volume percentage. And volume percentage equal to, similarly we are writing this volume percentage of a component. Volume percentage of a component. Volume percentage of a component is equal to component is equal to here volume of the components divided by total volume of the solution into hundreds. This is called as a volume percentage of a component. For example, here we are taking this is 10 ml of ethanol. 10 ml of ethanol here dissolved in 10 ml of ethanol is dissolved in here 90 ml of water. 90 ml of water. Here ml is called as milliliters. This is called as volume here. Water in volume here. This is ethanol also in volumes here. This is called volume by volume. Volume by volume this is the volume percent of component equal to volume of the component divided by total volume of the solution into 100. Then if you are dissolving 10 ml of ethanol in this is 90 ml of water, then what is the volume percentage of component? That is volume percentage of ethanol. Volume percentage of ethanol is equal to here what is the volume of the component taken that is in a solution. Here we are taking 10 ml of ethanol dissolved in 90 ml of water. 90 ml of water. Here what is solvent? Here 90 plus 10 100. This is called 100 into this is 100. Then what is the volume percent of ethanol in water? This is 10% it is. Then what is the meaning of 10% ethanol? What is the meaning of 10% ethanol? Here 10% ethanol in water means here 10 ml of ethanol dissolved in 90 ml of water. This is the meaning of volume percentage. Okay. Then this is about volume percentage of that is volume percentage here. The concentration expressed in volume by volume percentage. Then the third one, that is called as here this is third one, mass by volume percentage. Mass by volume percentage. Mass by volume percentage. Mass by volume percentage. This is W by V. This like this. W. Here W indicates mass of the solute, and volume here is V. Here this is mass by volume percentage. And mass by volume percentage equal to mass by volume percentage. Mass by volume percentage. Mass by volume percentage. Mass by volume percentage. Volume percentage is equal to here, that is mass of the solute taken. Mass of the solute. mass of the solute divided by here mass of the solution, mass of the solution into 100. This is called as definition of mass by volume percentage. For example, here you are adding 5 gram of glucose or sugar or sodium chloride is dissolved in, it is 100 ml of solution, 100 ml of solution. Here this is volume of solution in ml, volume, this is ml here, this is called as solute in grams, this is 5 gram of solute dissolved in 100 ml of solution here, then multiplied by 100, then you will get how much percentage? That is 5%, that is. And 5%, for example, this is mass by volume percentage of glucose we are taken here, that means mass by volume percentage of glucose, mass by volume percentage of glucose is equal to here mass of the glucose divided by the mass of the solution taken, this is 100 ml into 100, that is equal to 5% glucose. That is 5% glucose means 5% glucose means 5 gram of glucose dissolved in 100 ml of solution. This is the meaning of mass by volume percentage. Then here you are using one more unit here, that is for expressing concentrations, that is called as parts per million, parts per million. If the solute concentration is very less, very traces quantity of solute is present in a solutions, in that case we are using parts per million. And this is the expression, this concentration term here generally used for expressing concentration of calcium and magnesium ions which are present in drinking water. That is hardness of water can be calculated here in the form of parts per million. Very less quantity of calcium and magnesium ions which are present in drinking water, that is called as the hardness of water, can be due to calcium and magnesium ions in water. And in that case here we are calculating hardness of water in the form of parts per million. Similarly here, and for calculations of that is a pollution of water and pollution of air, and the concentration of pollutants in air and water can be also expressed in the form of parts per million, and also the concentration of fluoride ions, in water also expressed in the form of parts per million. Okay, then here what is the definition of parts per million? Here parts per million is equal to here number of parts of the components, number of parts of the component divided by total number of parts of all the components of the solution here into million means 10 to the power 6 it is. That is parts per million is defined as number of parts of that particular component, divided by total number of parts of all the components of the solution into, this is multiplied by 10 to the power 6, that gives parts per million. And this term used for it is expressing hardness of water, and also it is to determine concentration of pollutants in air and water, and also to determine this is concentration of fluoride ions in water. This is one of the best, this is concentrated term which is used for expressing if the solutes are at a very less concentration, it is. Okay, parts per million. Then out of parts per million here, then you have one more that is concentration term you are using here for expressing solutes in solution, that is called as mole fraction. Here this mole fraction term already used in, it is in first PUC syllabus. Here you study about in first PUC syllabus that is the stoichiometric calculations. In a stoichiometry you studied about mole fractions, molarity and normality here. And what is mole fraction here? We know that here mole fraction is defined as, what is the mole fraction? Mole fraction is defined as mole fraction of a particular component, mole fraction of a component, this is x, a is the component, here x nothing but mole fraction, and mole fraction of component a here is equal to here number of moles of A divided by total number of moles present in the solution. This is Na, Nb plus so on. This is number of components which are present in solution. That gives the mole fraction of a component. That's why then how do you define this mole fraction? Mole fraction is defined as it is the ratio of number of moles of a particular component to the total number of moles present in the solution. This is called as mole fraction here, and this mole fraction term is independent of temperature. It does not change with the temperature. It is independent of temperature. Similarly, here if you are calculating mole fraction of the component B. If you want mole fraction of component B here, then you take number of moles of particular component B divided by number of moles of A and the number of moles of B and number of moles of C, so on, like this. This is called a total number of moles of all the components present in the solution, and this is called as the number of moles of particular component. If you want mole fraction of A here, then you take this is number of moles of A divided by total number of moles present in the solution. If you need this is a mole fraction, if you are calculating a mole fraction of B here, then mole fraction of B equal to here number of moles of B divided by total number of moles in the solution. Then where X is nothing but mole fraction of A and this is X nothing but mole fraction of B, like that. And similarly we calculate this for A, B and C, so depending upon number of components which are present in a solution. Then for example here, if a binary solution contains two components here, for binary solution or it is any solution here, the sum of the mole fraction of all the components, for example here, if a solution contains three components like A, B and C here, then the sum of the mole fraction of all the components always is equal to unity. This is 1, and this value does not exceed more than 1 it is. That's why the sum of the mole fraction of all the components in the solution is always equal to 1 here. This is the term, this is the importance of this is mole fraction it is. Okay. Then out of mole fraction here, then you have this here what is number of moles here, then we know about calculating number of moles it is. How do you calculate number of moles? And number of moles nothing but according to the first stoichiometric calculations in first year syllabus we done there so many problems based on number of moles it is, and also mole concept here like that, and the number of moles equal to here mass by molar mass, and mass by molar mass gives it is number of moles. For example here this is 4 gram of NaOH, 4 gram of NaOH dissolved in here, this is 100 ml of water, then you calculate number of moles here, you calculate number of moles of NaOH here, and number of moles of NaOH nothing but this NaOH how much you are taking here, NaOH you are taking, this is called 4 gram. Then what is the molar mass of NaOH here, and to calculate molar mass of NaOH we know here we must know about atomic masses. Atomic mass of sodium is 23, atomic mass of oxygen is 16, atomic mass of hydrogen is 1, that equal to 40. This is about this is nothing but this is called as molecular mass. That's why 4 by 40 is equal to how much? This is 4 1 ja, 4 10 ja, here 1 by 10 that equal to 0.1 here. This is 0.1 nothing but here 0.1 is called as number of moles of this is NaOH. This is okay. Then after this here, then like this we are calculating number of moles. By knowing number of moles here, we are calculating mole fractions. Okay. Next, here you have one more unit here for this expressing concentration, that is called as molarity. That is molarity. Okay. Here, what is molarity here? This is about mole fractions here, and in this case, like this, we are calculating mole fractions. Okay. Next, we are discussing about this is about mole fractions, and we are discussing so many problems in the first few syllabus about mole fractions. That is, and here the next unit we are using that is called as fifth one, molarity. This is one of the most important concentration term which are using in molarity. And what is molarity here? Molarity means, what is molarity here? Molarity means here, that is number of moles of a particular component, present in 1 liter of solution, that is, the molarity is defined as number of moles of solute. Here component means it is solute. Number of moles of solute present in 1 liter of solution. 1 liter of solution was nothing but 1 dm cube, decimeter cube, 1 decimeter cube of solution. This is called as molarity. And how do you express molarity in mathematical form? Here this is molarity is equal to here number of moles by volume in liters. Or, and what here is what is N indicates? N indicates number of moles of solute dissolved in that is volume in liters, solution in liters. Or it is also expressed in the form of number of moles nothing but mass by molecular mass into this is 1000 by this is V. Here V in ml, milliliters. Okay, this is the mathematical expression for molarity. And molarity is dependent on temperature. It depends on temperature. The temperature varies here. This volume changes, and as the volume changes, molarity also changes. That's why molarity is a temperature dependent. It is temperature dependent. As temperature varies, molarity also varies. It is. Then here based on this molarity, here also it is. We have some of the problems we are doing on molarity here. For example, we have a problem like this. This is. We have calculated molarity of solution containing 5 gram of NaOH in 450 ml of solution. For example, 5 gram of NaOH dissolved in 450 ml of solution. 450 ml of solution. 5 gram of NaOH dissolved in 450 ml of solution. Here, then you calculate molarity of this NaOH in solution. It is. Then molarity equal to here. This is weight by molecular mass into 1000 by V it is. And what is the weight here? How much weight you are taken here? Weight equal to 5 grams. And 5 gram of NaOH dissolved in 5 gram. And what is the molecular mass of NaOH here? The molecular mass of NaOH equal how much? 40 into here this is 1000 here. And what is the volume here? The volume of solution is 450 ml. This is 450 ml. Then on simplification here you will get the molarity value is here 0.278 mole per liter. This is the molarity of NaOH here dissolved in 450 ml of solution. This is like this. We are doing calculations based on molarity. This is the formula we are using here to calculate molarity. Molarity equal to it is weight by molar mass into 1000 by volume, here volume in milliliters or centimeter cubes, like this. Then this molarity is temperature dependent. Here it is. Since here you have taken solvent in volumes, here the volume depends on temperature. At temperature varies, volume also varies. That's why molarity is temperature dependent. Then the next one here, that is called as molality. Here, what is molarity here? Molarity means here, this is similarly as that of molarity. Here you are using a number of moles of solute, present in here 1 kg of solvent. Number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 kg of solvent, nothing but molarity. And molarity symbols we are using small m here. Molarity equal to here number of moles of solute N divided by this is V, nothing but volume of solution in kg, that is, or this is nothing but number of moles, nothing but weight by molar mass into this is 1000 here by V, here V in grams. This is the expression we are using to calculate molarity of solutions. And molality is a temperature. This is independent, since here the volume of solution here in kg, here kg is independent of that is temperature. That's why here molarity is independent of temperature. Okay, this is about molality it is. And also here this is our molarity it is. Okay, then and One more thing here during this winter season here in case of Himalaya regions or North India here, the car radiators are black due to this low temperature. That's why here for car radiators here to avoid formation of ice. Here to avoid there is formation of ice in the car radiators. In car radiators here to avoid formation of ice, we are adding there is a 35% ethylene glycol. 35% ethylene glycol is acts as antifreeze. For car radiators. That's why here it lowers the freezing point of water. This ethylene glycol, what is the function of ethylene glycol here? 35% ethylene glycol here in a car radiators acts as antifreeze. Here it lowers the freezing point of water. That's why here 35% ethylene glycol acts as anti-freezing agent. This is called as anti-freezing. Anti-freezing means it decreases the freezing point of water here in the cold regions here. This is the function of 35% ethylene glycol. Okay. This is about it is expressing concentration of solutions. I hope you are all understanding these concepts clear it is. In the next session we will discuss about solubility of solids in liquids and solubility of gases in liquids, and also we are discussing about Rolle's law and Henry's law. I hope you are all understanding these concepts clearly here. Thank you, students. In the next class we will discuss about the solubility of solids in liquids, and also we will discuss some of the principles which are involved in the solubility of solids in liquids and also solubility of gases in liquid series. Okay, thank you.